Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Haley Wilson, Marketing Lead at Purple Plum Consulting, and I'm joined by Christian Lee, Solution Architect at Purple Plum. If you're new to this series, each month we spotlight a new way teams are using Monday.com to work more efficiently. This month, we're diving into one of the most exciting topics in tech right now, artificial intelligence. So today's session, making AI real for real estate. Fun play on words there. We'll explore how AI is transforming real estate teams and how they manage their operations. Our agenda today, we'll be sharing some of our slick ways Monday AI can help your business. We'll keep things short and sweet, around 30 minutes long. Christian will cover common use cases of Monday.com AI. We'll go through some demos so you can see it in action, and then we'll end it with a live Q&A and a bonus tip. Okay, so let's learn some practical common ways AI is reshaping real estate operations with Monday.com. Christian, take it away.
Thanks, Haley. So today we're gonna walk through three practical ways that AI is, already making an impact with real estate teams, making things more efficient and kind of automating some of the tasks that previously there was no way around other than just to manually take care of them. And these aren't one important note I want to make as we go through these. These aren't like futuristic topics. These aren't things that are coming in the pipeline or things that are in the future. These are really features that you can use today. Small, bite-sized approaches, I think, to, getting AI into your business and automating some of those tasks. So, in the first use case that we're going to talk about is scanning business cards. And so what this means is kind of capturing just a picture, and it doesn't have to be like a traditional scanned copy of a business card, but taking a picture of a business card that maybe you received, when you're out, at an event or just in public and you meet someone, right? You need to capture a picture of a business card for a potential lead. For example, you're at an event and you come home with a stack of business cards and you're like, oh man, I've got to get through all of these and manually type in people's phone numbers, what I talked to them about, manually type in their name, what company they're from, etc. Really what this workflow allows you to do is scan a business card and extract their contact details, what company they work for, the title, and then maybe you just manually type in a few notes about maybe what you talked to the individual about while you were in contact with them in person. That way you have some context, into your lead there on what you spoke with them about, and then you have all their contact details captured automatically with AI. So the data entry, it doesn't go from like a form traditionally where you would type in their name and contact info. It's more capture a quick snippet of photo of the business card, and then you just type in some plain language like what you're used to just conversationally thinking, what you're thinking in the moment. And then you submit it, and then AI kind of categorizes things and does things for you automatically in your leads board inside of Monday.com. So this just allows you to really quickly enter in that information as you're getting it, rather than having to remember things later. So I think that's really an important and quick workflow that we can kind of go through. And so, I think next we can talk about another kind of scanning a photo or a document. So this one would be kind of like a PDF file, for example. Let's say you have, a signed agreement for a lease, for example, your property management company. So we would be able to upload this PDF document into Monday.com and then automatically extract, again, same type of concept, extracting details from contracts, leases, or invoices, and then taking that data from the document and putting into the structured data into your board, into a column, right? So the lease expiration date, the address that the lease is for, the individuals' names who are associated to the lease, and other key details inside of the lease agreement or any other kind of contract, for example. Kind of take some of the manual data entry. Let's say you just receive an email with a PDF in it, right? We can take that PDF, upload it into Monday, and then have AI kind of categorize various data points on it. This could be the trigger point for approvals, automations, for renewals, or next steps, so that you can say, the AI automatically extracts the renewal date from the lease and then says whenever that date arrives, we can tie that to a notification or other things like that inside of the workflow. So this ensures that you just have organization with all of your document uploads, and just kind of that automated data entry point of extracting key details out of those documents. And then next, we can talk about Monday's Sidekick AI feature. So I think this is a really digestible way for just kind of getting your feet wet with AI inside of Monday. It's just essentially a chat that we're all, I'm sure, used to using in other platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini with Google. And so it's a chat inside of Monday that has the context of your boards, your updates, all the data in your board already embedded into it, and you can ask it questions or have it extract insights. It's, think of it like an assistant, or your own data analyst sitting there that you can just ask questions to, that has the context that you're already built up in the board. So from a leadership standpoint, for example, you could just ask it like, which listings are closing the fastest, and why are they closing the fastest, right? What are some correlations between them? You can ask, what are the most active listings that we have, with updates, from the team that have been stored against those listings. You can have it summarize those updates as well and kind of talk to, where things stand in the moment, right? It has all the context of the board, just already into it. You don't have to copy paste anything into another chat platform. It's right there inside of Monday. And so it's just really, really useful and a really digestible way to start using AI in your day to day. It's really just like, rather than manually filtering a board or manually searching for some information, you just pop open the Sidekick and ask the question, and it does a really good job of finding that information inside of your Monday account and then giving you really, really actionable insights into the data in your boards. Okay, so why don't we jump into a few demos of these workflows? So our first demo will show the business card intake that we talked about. So I just put together a simple form here where you can upload a picture of the business card, and then a description where you would put in, kind of what you talked with this person about. So for example, I'm putting in and I say, hey, I met Mark on our sales team here at Purple Plum. Met him at an event this weekend. He's interested in working with us. We discussed XYZ, about the commercial real estate package that we offer to clients. And, he would like more information, right? So you just type in these details kind of in the moment, and saying, hey, here's what we talked about, just kind of a brief summary. What this does is allows us to give the AI a little bit of context about what's going on. And I'll show you why here in a moment as we get this into the board. So this is going to create an item in our leads board. And you notice this is a very simple data entry. I didn't have to type a name, a phone number, or an email. I didn't have to type anything. It goes into the board as a picture. And then we got a series of columns that are automatically filled with AI. And so right there, you see the file. We've got the description that I typed in. We got a suggested next step that's automatically generated by AI, and all of the contact details are auto-filled into the board really, really easily. And you can see the email there, the phone number. This last interaction date actually should be next interaction. So what I had there set up is with the AI, it's saying, hey, when should I reach out to this individual next? Just based on the context that I provided, right? So if I said he's interested, it's going to say maybe, follow up with them immediately or in a couple of days if the context and the description is a little bit different, right? So just kind of having these various AI functionalities tied only just to the data entry that I put in is really crucial. And you can see here now the last name wasn't set up, so I'm just going in and setting up the automation to extract that last name, which is super simple. As you can see, just a couple of clicks, and you can extract from a file one of these columns. So it's really, really quick to set this up. This isn't like a very difficult thing. This took just a couple of minutes to set all of these columns up to suggest when I should reach out, what the next step should be. And also I had it fill in a suggested email example. So maybe if I want to just, have some ideas on how I might want to email them next, I can have that auto-filled with AI based on the description that I gave it and the business card that I gave it. Just those two data entry points, and we have all of this information. We have a next step, next email. We have the suggested next date that we should reach out to this individual, etc. All based on kind of just natural language input and a photo of their business card. So this suggested next email example is really, really cool. So in the prompt, I put in and made sure that says, hey, keep it natural. Make sure to pick up the description of the context that I gave you. Keep it a simple email saying, hey, just wanted to follow up with you. Really loved meeting you this past weekend, etc. Right. And just kind of a simple email that you can use and then customize from there and send out an email to the individual. And our next example, similar kind of formatting, right? We have a form and we're just going to put in the lease signer's name. This is a lease agreement being uploaded, a very simple, basic one with just a couple of details in it. We didn't go get a huge contract, but this works the same regardless. So what we have here is a similar setup. We're uploading a document. Right. This time it's a lease agreement, right? It's going to have various information. It's going to have the name, the address, the due date, the lease term, right? So I've got a few AI extracted columns here, similar to the business card. As you can see, uploaded the file. It's already extracted the tenant name. It's pulled out the current lease status. So let's say, this is an active lease or it's not an active lease, right? It's going to kind of determine that based on the context of the file, right? So it's got all this information. It's pulling out the rent, the security deposit, the late fee, right? We can pull in all those details. And so right now we just have a few details. So I'm going to walk you through kind of adding in a couple of details. And similar to the business card situation, you'll notice this is super easy to set up. So I just go into the column settings for the security deposit, and I'm going to set up where we can extract data with a custom prompt. And I just describe what it is. I'm saying, hey, I want to extract the security deposit from this lease agreement that's attached, and then I give it the file, as context. And then it's going to go and read the file and pull out that data that we want intelligently using AI. So and you can see it's pulling that out. You have that nice example box that Monday gives you as you're setting this up. But that's it. I mean, it really takes just like 20 seconds to set up a new field to extract data that comes from, just a structured PDF document for a file. So now let's do the late fee. So I go into the column settings, set a custom prompt, and you kind of get the gist, I think, by now, right? So I'm sure you're teaming with ideas on how to apply this to all the many documents that we get in the real estate industry. And I'm sure that you guys will find some really clever use cases for this, but we're just going to go in, we're going to say, hey, I want to give it the lease agreement as context. I'm putting in the files column there. And then now I want the late fee extracted. And just, you saw how quick that was to set up. And again, this is a very basic rental agreement, but you can imagine all the different documents that we could apply this to and then get AI extracted information into a board without having to manually type this in, without having to have the user type it in either, right? And introduce error, right? This is baked into the lease, so we can just extract it from the one source of truth, the document itself, and then store it into a board. So let's dive into Monday Sidekick. So Monday Sidekick is a chat that's just built into Monday. As you can see, I just clicked on the Sidekick button with the nice, colorful, triangle diamond there. And I've just asked it to identify patterns and properties that sold the fastest. What's great about Sidekick, it also will just kind of give you some ideas when you click on it based on the board context, right? So again, it has the context of the board in it already. So when you click on it, it's going to have a couple of pre-built prompts that you can ask it. You can just click on one of those, or you can just ask it questions about the board. So I asked it, I identify patterns and properties that sold the fastest. So it tells me the fastest selling property patterns are mostly in Atlanta or, house or townhouse, some condominiums. It's got the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, right? The list price that's commonly the most sold. Right. So it kind of just gives, it's like a data analyst, a sidekick It's a really great term for it, right? Because it's just always there. You can kind of grab for it and go and ask it questions. And you can chain these together, right? So give me a deeper breakdown, right? And I want to see by structure type and by price, right? For these listings, right? And I have this listings board, and all this listings board is, by the way, it's very simple. It's got addresses, it's got a bunch of dates. This is kind of from our real estate solution, our listings template. So, this is a list of all of our listings here as an example, and we're just asking it for deeper insights now. So it's like you can kind of chain it together, similar to like what we're all getting used to with the different chat interfaces. This is just another one built into Monday with your context already kind of baked into it, which is amazing. So you can ask it, it's giving you specifics from your board. All right, so a little bit more Sidekick. So what I did actually, I clicked a pre-built prompt that Monday kind of put together for you. And you can see how they structure these. It's really good to kind of play with these because it gives you a little bit of an idea on how to structure your prompts to get the best out of the boards. And what this is doing is saying, I said, identify all listings marked as coming soon and generate a targeted marketing plan referencing assigned agents, scheduled photo dates, and all those details, right? So this is pulling out and creating a targeted marketing plan for those specific filters, right? And it's filtered the board for that. And you can see the list of properties that it's referencing and building the marketing plan for right there in the chat. You can also click on this button that says filter board, and it's going to take you right to a filtered view that shows just the properties it's referencing.
So let's take a few minutes to go through our Q&A segment. We've gathered a few questions we get from our clients about Monday.com's AI features. So Christian, let's start with this one. What's next for Monday.com AI?
So, that's a great question. Monday's always expanding every bit of their feature set, especially the AI. Obviously, there's a close eyeball on everything AI in the industry. And, we're seeing improvements in really the refinement of the blocks, the AI blocks, the automations. The Sidekick is getting better and better. It's getting faster. With Monday Vibe as well, right? There's tons and tons of improvements coming out with Monday Vibe, Monday Magic as well. And so there's no really one answer to this question. It's as evolving as the AI industry as a whole is right at the moment. I'm sure that we've all seen kind of decades of progress happen in really like a month or 6 months with AI in general. And so that's kind of how fast Monday's moving. They're trying their best to keep up with the pace that's being set in the AI industry. And so I think we're just going to see tons and tons more come, especially with the Monday Vibe and Monday Magic stuff and all the AI blocks Monday has.
Thank you. Okay, how does Monday.com ensure that sensitive client information stays secure with these AI features?
So security is always at the forefront of everything that Monday does when they're implementing new features, especially with with AI, right? It's very important to keep in mind that security is a sensitive topic, and always important to make sure that we're keeping client data, very secure. And Monday is dedicated to not rushing into AI too much, so that way if there is a lack of security, they're very careful in what they implement and how they implement it, and it all is upheld in Monday's very tight security policies.
Thank you, Christian. That's really important. That's always something I kind of forget about the security with AI. So thank you for covering that. Okay, final question. How can team leaders encourage AI without overwhelming their teams?
So this is probably one of the most important questions, right? It's all of this change happening so fast. How do we get, like I said earlier, bite-sized ways to implement AI inside of our company, right? One of my favorite things to suggest is the Sidekick. It's already built in. You don't need to do anything to set it up. It's there on the board. You just click it and ask it a question. Have people start using that, and or like something like the business card thing, right? Everything we implemented today was kind of bite-sized, right? Having someone upload a picture of a business card to a board and write a description is a very easy kind of entry point, right? for someone who is getting business cards. It's just something they can add to their daily thing. They can take a picture of it. They may already be taking pictures of it. I know I do when I get business cards. And so, it's kind of a natural transition. The Sidekick is really great for that, though. You just go into the feature that already exists inside of Monday, start asking it questions, and then your just AI powered workflow is just already starting from there. And then that gives people a lot of ideas like, oh, can AI do this? Can it do that? And also, I recommend having someone on your team or in each department that's kind of the champion of AI features. They do research, they're empowering users and training them on how to implement AI, how to use it. How do you prompt correctly? How do you ask it the right questions? All of those things, right? Having that one dedicated person that people can go to kind of takes that barrier to entry, makes it a little bit more digestible as well. So those are my recommendations for how to get people introduced to AI without overwhelming them.
Yeah, definitely. That's great advice. Thank you. And I like the bite-sized approach, starting small and then kind of growing from there. So awesome. Okay, now let's move on to our bonus tips. So Christian, would you like to go over it all?
Yeah, so we talked about a couple of really simple use cases. Now, taking those a little bit further, where AI really gets like supercharged, is combining that in building full workflows with it, right? So we showed a couple of like very simple, hey, a document gets uploaded and stuff gets extracted from it. And then we showed Sidekick being utilized as well. And where it really gets supercharged is when you take the AI kind of entry points or a part of the middle of a workflow and you combine it with traditional automations. So I'm sure you guys are mostly aware that you can, when a trigger happens inside of Monday, you can send an email using your Outlook or your Gmail. You can send a notification to a user. You can move items between boards, right? You can do all kinds of things already with built-in Monday automations. So, for example, with the business card use case, you could take that and say, hey, when this item's created, when that next kind of suggested interaction date arrives, automatically send the email that was stored in the text column, right? Say, hey, I want to send an email that has this content. You can take that automatically generated content and send it out automatically, and you never have to think about it, right? It's kind of a follow-up system. Just make sure you're putting in your description, relevant details considering that. Or you could say, when this happens, if, the lead is a certain type, if it's a certain type of company that you might be wanting to work with, let's say in property management, it's a commercial property company. Maybe you want to say, if it's this type of company, assign this salesperson, right? Because that's their wheelhouse, right? So it's very, very kind of chaining that together with traditional automations and building it into your workflows is really where you take these AI tasteful actions and automations and then combining it together with other aspects of your workflow to really build out a full use case, which is where we're seeing, really, really applicable uses being handled, right? The one-off things are really cool to show as an idea, but combining that together with multiple steps is where you really supercharge your workflows.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christian. And thanks to everyone who joined us today. We hope this session gave you some practical ideas for how AI can simplify your workflows and bring real value to your real estate operations. If you'd like to learn more about how Purple Plum can help your team build smarter solutions with Monday.com, visit us at purpleplumtech.com. Check out our past webinars on YouTube, or feel free to reach out directly to Mark on our sales team on the screen here. Don't forget to show up next month for our Tuesdays with Monday session. And thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.